If this doesn't work, I'm going to go insane. If this doesn't work, my brain will be sad. Oh, yeah. Deconverted man here. How do we know God exists? Well, we don't. We don't know that God exists. And this channel here has comments turned off because he's a coward. And, anyways, so, but at least he's a honest coward. So here we go.
When someone says to me, "Can you prove God exists?" I give a very simple response: no. I say that because I know what they mean by prove. They want me to prove the existence of God using rational reasoning, which says nothing can be believed unless there is unmistakable empirical evidence that is so strong no thinking person could possibly miss it. You just can't prove the existence of God that way.
Why not? Why can't we prove God in that way? That seems rather arbitrary. But I mean, you said you can't prove God. Okay, cool. At least you're honest. All right, what else? What else you got? Anything?
But you can't prove the non existence of God that way either.
You can't prove the non existence of God that way either. Well, it depends what you think God is, and whether or not I can prove it or not. But the burden is on you, not on me. You're making the claim. I'm not. I'm rejecting your claim, and so yeah, that's it. I'm simply rejecting your claim about God. The Bible's real. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Bible. Yeah, of course, the Bible. All right. The lobsterist is real, therefore law exists. Yeah, sure.
Those who say there is no God for rational reasons seem to have no problem crediting things like luck or coincidence or chance.
Okay. So I like that he put it in quotes. Rational reasons. I have rational reasons to not believe in God. And then depending on versions of God, I'll say certain versions of God don't exist. Like logically coherent versions of God cannot exist because logic. Depends what God is. Yahweh doesn't exist. All right.
When they see or experience something they can't explain. Can you prove luck or coincidence or chance rationally? No way.
Okay. Chance can be proven to be a thing, sort of, but luck isn't a thing, and coincidence isn't. It's just kind of a appeal to novelty more than anything else. It's a personal experience, you know. Uh, I don't believe in luck though, and so no, I don't believe in those things either. So you said that I would believe in those things. You're wrong, except for chance, which yes, I can account for chance using reason and logic, and I can even demonstrate that chance is a thing. But yeah, the other things I don't believe in. So okay, but even if somebody did, that doesn't matter because their belief in one thing doesn't mean that their non-belief in something else is therefore negated. People are very complicated creatures. You can hold a belief that is completely irrational and still say, well, I don't believe in the world being flat. And that belief would still be correct, even though you hold another belief. Like, I believe we never went to the moon, but I do believe that the world is an obloid spheroid. You can do both those things. You know, you can hold an idea to be true that's incoherent, and also hold an idea to be true that isn't incoherent. You can do both. It doesn't matter.
Hey, God, luck, and coincidence all require a kind of faith.
God, luck, and coincidence. Well, I don't believe in luck. Luck isn't really real. Coincidence is more of a uh, misidentification of an event. kind of like oh, I ran into you again. What a coincidence! Like it's just something we kind of say, uh, but it's not really real. So yeah, if God's one of those things, then God's not really real. Good job.
All of us act on faith way more than we do on rational reasoning.
Even if true, that doesn't make faith a good way to find out if something is true or not. I personally don't act on faith at all because I don't have any faith.
If everything were so logical and clear, you wouldn't have thinking people taking sides on nearly every issue. I mean, think of it. From politics to the best pickup truck, very intelligent, logical thinking people don't agree. They look at some information, which is far from exhaustive. Then they step out in faith, hoping they're right.
Well, no. If you gather data, then you're making an informed decision. If you just arbitrarily, buy a car sight unseen, because you believe that the dealer is going to give you a good deal, that's faith.
We fly in airplanes, trusting a pilot we've never met.
We fly in airplanes trusting a pilot we've never met. Correct. The system, however, is pretty darn stable to ensure that the pilot has proper training. And the pilot also wants to survive. So the pilot wants to be correct in what they're doing. Otherwise, they'll wind up dying too. So I don't need faith for any of that because the system's been robust enough to show that the system is working. There's empirical evidence to make an established reasonable choice based on the data at hand. What data do you have to support the belief in God? You said you had none because you couldn't make a rational argument, which you're not making. So you got nothing. Okay.
Is that rational? We drive in cars and trust people we don't know who are coming right toward us that they'll obey the traffic laws.
No, it's called defensive driving. You don't trust anybody. When on the road, you should practice defensive driving, which is to say, you assume everyone on the road is a moron, including yourself. Everyone is stupid on the road. So you treat them stupidly. You treat them as if they're stupid. You pay attention to what they're doing because they might be on your side of the road. But if they are, then they're going to die too, or at least get seriously injured. So no, we don't have to trust them, and we ought not to behave in a way where they're going to necessarily make good decisions. Instead, we're watching them, we're watching ourselves, we're watching everything, constantly practicing safe driving by doing defensive driving, being ready to take action if we need to. All of that is informed by the data that we gather as we drive, which has nothing to do with faith at all.
Is that rational? So don't let people corner you on this one. Just because you can't rationally prove that God exists doesn't mean he doesn't.
If you can't prove rationally that something exists, then you shouldn't believe in it. At least you have no rational reason to believe in it. And then, so if you don't have a rational reason, then you have an emotional reason or a faith reason. And so you should say, I believe, but only because of faith. I don't have any good reasons. You should be honest about it. And say, I can't prove it to you because I don't have any way to prove it to you. It's just a faith. I'm not going to say that it is true. I'm just going to say I believe in it. But as far as not being able to, that it could still be true despite your not knowing how to prove it, that is indeed the case. It could be the case that you simply lack the mental facility to be able to prove that something is true, and yet it's true anyways. But you should be able to demonstrate rationally that something is existent, and if you can't do that, then you really shouldn't believe in it.
Did you know that the Bible never tries to prove the existence of God?
I,
Never.
I don't
The
care.
very first words of the Bible are
I don't care what the Bible says. I just don't care.
in the beginning, God.
The first words in the Bible are in the beginning God. Are they? I don't know. I haven't read the Bible in a while. Genesis 1:1. Because I don't trust this guy. Let's see. Let's see. He said, okay, I'm going to go back. So let's see what he said. He said,
Doesn't mean he doesn't. Prove the existence of God? Never. The very first words of the Bible are, in the beginning, God.
okay, in the beginning, God. In the beginning, God. Okay, yeah, he's right. He was right about that. Okay, all right.
He's just there without any explanation.
Yeah, because it's a story. And in the Lobsterist, it says other things. So does that prove the Lobsterist is real? Like, just asking. Like, how does this work exactly? Yeah, it's just such a bad. Like, oh yeah, sure, I don't have any rational way to prove it, but just believe it, because it sounds good. I guess I don't know. What are the first words of the Lobsterist? I don't remember. I haven't read the. I guess the first words of the Lobsterist are the Lobsterist. Well, we've got the preface. We'll ignore that. Let's see. Okay, the first words of the Lobsterist are about 13 billion years. Those are the first words of the Lobsterist. So the Lobsterist actually doesn't have Laud show up for quite some time. Um, let's see. Oh man. Let's see. Oh wow. Okay, so yeah, it's quite some time, man. Okay, so yeah, so it's not until verse 9 that the lobster original deity is even mentioned. So that means the lobsterist must be true and the Bible must be false. Oops. Well, I screwed that up.
Knows God. Prove the existence of God? Never. The very first words of the Bible are, in the beginning, God. He's just there without any explanation.
Yeah.
That's because the Bible's written from the perspective that everyone deep in their knower knows God exists.
Deep in their knower. Deep in their knower. I'm going to get a shirt that says deep in their knower. Knower is not a word, you moronic nitwit. Deep in their knower. No, I don't know that God exists. So you're wrong. Okay, that's it. We're done. That's it. Now we don't need to keep going. That's it. That's the end of the video. I don't want to keep going anymore. All right, we'll do the finish.
It's just part of being created in the image of God. God has placed a kind of divine awareness chip in every person. So, regardless of what anyone says, I take God at his word and assume that deep down they know he's there.
Well, you're wrong about that because I don't know deep down that God is there. And the Bible's wrong about that. It just says that because, it's part of its indoctrination tactics that they came up with. So, yeah, why does God need people to say that it's real? Why can't God just do it? Why do we need this nitwit? I don't know.
And you should assume the same thing.
No, you shouldn't because you have no rational justification to do so.
Never forget that people want what you and I have.
They want what you and I have. No, I want nothing to do with what you have, which is complete and utter nonsense.
I'd love to know God. We just
Love to know God? I don't know that I would love to know God. It depends on what God is like, I suppose. If he's a jerk, then I don't want to know him. But I mean, I've never heard from God, so I can't tell you what it's like. But I'll tell you what, once God starts talking to me, I'll get back to you. Oh, wait, I can't because you turned off your comments, you chicken.
have to figure out a way to work with God to help them discover him. And when they
You have to work with God to help them discover him because God is unable to do it himself, apparently.
do, they'll love it. Their own
They'll love it. No, they won't. I don't want anything to do with it. No, thank you. Please do not try to get me to join your religion.
only two worldviews when it comes to God: theism, which says there is God, and atheism, which says there is no God. It can't be.
Oh, wait a minute. We just covered what atheism is. Atheism isn't just that there is no God, it's also the lacking of belief in God. Even the confused dude finally admitted that this was the case. So yeah, you're wrong about that. But also, there's a third view called deism, and then there's also agnosticism, and then there's atheism. So there's more than two worldviews.
Be both.
Also, theism might be a worldview, but depends on the type of theism. But atheism certainly isn't a worldview, and you're wrong about that. But you've been wrong about everything in this video so far, so why start being right about anything now? You chicken, you coward, having your comments turned off. What a jeez.
Both. It's one or the other. Atheism says we live in a godless existence, are the product of time and chance. Our existence is meaningless other than what we can carve out for ourselves, and will eventually return to nothingness.
No, atheism doesn't say any of those things because atheism doesn't prescribe anything. Atheism is simply a response to the question of do you believe in God? It doesn't mean, in a godless world, depends on the atheist, because not all atheists say there isn't a God, so then they therefore wouldn't be able to say it's a godless world. Uh, so you're just wrong. You're more wrong. You're just wrong. Everything is wrong. Yeah, this is pretty good. If atheism is a worldview, then baldness is a hair color. Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, baldness would, okay, the hair color, the hair, I guess your hair color could be the tone of skin that you have, but if you're bald, then you don't have hair. So, never mind. What else is this guy going to get wrong? Oh, and the time and chance thing? Yeah, you forgot about natural selection there. And the meaning, yeah, we do have to carve that out for ourselves. And eventually we return to the nothing. No. We return to the universe. That's not nothing.
Theism says there is a God with supernatural intelligence who gives
Certain types of theism make that claim. Others don't.
meaning and purpose to the universe and to humanity, and that every person is eternal.
Certain brands of theism say that. Not all.
Now, since neither theism nor atheism can be proven with rational reasoning,
Uh, well, you're right on one of those accounts. You're wrong on the other one. Theism apparently can't, according to you, can't be proven rationally. I'll agree with you that it can't be. I've never seen it done so, but that doesn't mean it can't be. I just haven't encountered it yet. Atheism, however, can be indeed proven rationally, since it's simply a claim about what I believe, or in this case, what I don't believe. So yes, it's absolutely easy to rationally prove atheism. Hey, do I believe that there's a God? No, I don't. Hey, look, I'm an atheist. Oh, wow, that was easy to prove. Very simple. Everything you say is wrong. Everything you say is wrong.
let's just call them theories. And the test of theory, in simplified terms, you collect data, you do some testing, and then you ask the question, does this theory explain our observations and experiences? So let's do that. If you go with atheism, that there's no God who gives humanity and the universe a sense of meaning and purpose, and that everything is the result of time and chance, you'd expect a lack of design, chaos, disorder, and no moral sense of right and wrong.
No, you wouldn't. If you, you wouldn't. Hopefully, you would at least know that there's a mechanism there that filters out chance. Uh, Man, you're just leaving out so many steps. It's ridiculous. Okay, based on my observations of the world, uh, which I would be what I would start with, because there isn't an atheism to start with. So the statement that you made just is completely incoherent rubbish. But if we're gonna start from scratch, great, let's do that. I like that. That's good. Because you said what we observe. Okay, what do we observe? Okay, well, I observe a world of creatures, of which I am one of many. And I'm able to observe that there are plants and trees and insects and other, all sorts of life, and that some people treat other people nicely, and some people treat other people not nicely. And some animals are friendly, and some animals are not friendly, and some can be tamed, and others can't, and some can be eaten, and others are dangerous. So a lot of observations can be made. Now, I could draw a lot of conclusions from that. Uh, and eventually, if I collected enough data, I might be able to figure out biological evolution. Although, again, if I'm starting from scratch, it'd be awfully hard on my own to do it. If you have other people working with you, and over time, then yeah, you're gonna get more information and more data. And we called that, what was it called? Oh, science, right? So, if we utilize science, then we stand on the backs of all those that came before us, having already done the hard work of finding the data in the first place. And then we can make a good inference about the world that we see. And based on that, the apparent order of the universe is completely explainable due to physics and entropy, as well as biological evolution. That explains life quite well. And so, no, I do expect chaos to reign eventually. No, actually, I expect the opposite of chaos, because entropy reduces chaos. So I expect a state of complete entropy at the end, which is zero chaos. So actually, I predict zero chaos at the end. Negating everything that you just said would be my observation. So you're completely wrong again. Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens without a plan, right? It's just survival of the fittest. And whatever happens, well, just happens.
Okay.
If you go with theism, if there is an intelligent God who gives meaning and purpose to humanity and the universe, you'd expect order.
Why just humans though? Like, what about the other animals? Why aren't they evolved? How do you know that that God is not a lobster and only cares about the lobsters, and that humans are an accidental byproduct, as it outlined in the Lobsterist, which is the only real and true holy book in the world? How do you know that's not true? You moronic, scaredy cat that doesn't have comments turned on? How do you know that? Yeah. You know deep down that the Lobsterist is true.
You'd expect creative and intelligent design. You'd
Yeah, and we don't see that. We don't see intelligent or creative design. We see screwed up stuff all the time. Like the human body, are you kidding me? This is a moron designed this. Are you kidding me? They put the pleasure place inside of and next to the waste disposal plant? Only a moron would do it. So I guess your God is a nitwit. Okay. So it's not that intelligent. It's actually moronic.
you'd expect morality with an innate sense of right and wrong.
Why? Why would you expect that?
You'd expect beauty. You'd expect something to come out of nothing in ways you can't explain.
Something to come out of nothing? When have we ever observed that to happen?
Because an all powerful, intelligent God could do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and so could a magician. So how do you know it's not a magician? That you're just mislabeling God? Magic. Whatever. Yeah. Look at the sex organs. Right. Exactly. Anyways, he's gonna keep being wrong, I guess.
It doesn't take rocket science to see that our world has an incredible sense of order and design at every level.
Uh, it doesn't take rocket science to know that you're wrong about everything that you just said. You are nowhere near understanding rocket science. Neither am I, but I think I'm closer than you.
From astronomy to the ecosystem to the laws of science and physics to the human body, we see unexplainable order that keeps working day after week after year after century.
Uh, no, it's perfectly explainable. It's just you don't like the explanations and don't want to understand them. All of it's been explained. We understand everything that you just said. Even if we didn't, though, that wouldn't give us the excuse to then appeal to more unexplained things to try to explain them, or to give up on our rational ways of getting to know things because we can't figure it out, which is basically all you're advocating for. You say, I have no rational way to prove God exists, so I give up on that. How do I explain everything? I don't know, therefore God. All right, and a big old appeal to ignorance.
Things our rational minds tell us just couldn't happen by luck or chance or coincidence.
Well, it's chance, but it's chance with filtering mechanism. Yeah, why do you have glasses? If your God is so goddamn perfect and made you so well, why are you wearing glasses? Why is your hair gray? Why are you getting older?
When we look at humanity, we see a morality of kindness and caring with the ability to love rather.
Yeah, except for when we don't. Like, Peterson and that other dude, they were complaining about like the evils done by communism, and like they were blaming the spiritual realm for it, even though it's far more logical to blame humans for it. But like, yeah, we do bad stuff too. How do you explain that? I'll just focus on the good stuff. Okay.
rather than base survival of the fittest of the animal kingdom.
No, we still have survival of the fittest. It's just that we're able to modify our environment due to our ability of using tools. So we have focused and specialized on the brain, and then use that brain to build stuff that makes it so that we don't have to go hunt and kill our food in the same way that we used to back in the past. And that might have screwed us up a bit. Who knows? Anyways, yeah. All right.
When we look at the universe, we see things springing from nothing in ways we just can't explain.
When you look at the universe, you see things springing into being in ways you can't explain. That might be correct. You might see something that you can't explain, but that doesn't mean anything. It just means you don't know that. That's a
So, from the collection and observation of data, the existence of God or some greater power offers a better explanation of what we see and experience than the non existence of God.
no. The existence of God. First of all, you haven't proven or demonstrated to even be a thing, nor have you to really explain what God is or how it functions. But it doesn't offer an explanation for anything because you haven't proven that it's a thing. But also because no, we have reasonable explanation for everything else. But even if we didn't, that wouldn't mean that God did it. That's an unreasonable explanation. And you already said that you don't have a rational way to prove it. So you can't now have a rational way to explain things when you already said that you don't have a rational way to explain things or prove things using God. So you can't have it both ways, you moronic scaredy cat nitwit that has comments turned off. Uh, uh, keep hitting X, you keep coming back. What are you guys talking about? Stop debating each other. You're both on the same side.
So, does this answer every question? Of course not.
Oh, well, then all the questions we can't answer obviously are answered by Laud, who is better than God because Laud is able to eat other deities and will eat your deity, and then it won't exist anymore. And only Laud will exist. Yay! Go Laud!
I didn't move the conversation into a discussion of evolution, the age of the earth, or the intricacies of the human body. These are all wonderful discussions for some other time, but our goal here is to create an opportunity to communicate the life giving message of the gospel.
The life-giving message of the gospel. The gospel is not about life-giving. It's about human sacrifice to atone for other humans, which I find despicable, disdainful, vile, evil, and unholy. The message of the gospel is utter garbage in my view. All right, well, that's it. Thanks for playing. You got nothing. All right, well, at least now I got the volume working. We're all going to pretend that the last time didn't happen. And I'm not going to go over the Peterson video again because I hate YouTube Shorts. So screw it. I'm not covering YouTube Shorts anymore. That's what started it. That's what, like, it cursed me or something. Like, it made my stuff not work. So I'm not going to bother with YouTube Shorts. All right. Anyways, thanks for listening. And if you have a video or videos you want me to look at, email them to me, deconvertedman1@gmail.com, and post a comment if you want. And I'll see you next time. Until then, unless and until we have a valid and sound argument, we must be skeptical of the conclusion.